All right, kids, we're back, and we're going to look at question number 4. Now, many times when I put a question similar to this on a test, the students usually raise their hand, Mr. Bullens, you haven't taught us charts. We don't know how to do this. And while it's true, I am going to spend some very explicit time on charts. There is enough information inside of this charts, and there are words that you should be familiar with because they're all vocabulary words that you should be able to figure out what is happening in this question. So let's take a look at this. This is a chart showing current weather data for 4 cities, city W, X, Y, and Z. And it said which city is most likely to experience precipitation. Now, that's assuming that we know what precipitation is. That's one of our vocabulary words. It's one that we've struggled with and we've taught a lot in class. And that is rain, sleet, snow, and hail. So I'm looking at my different cities here, and I'm trying to figure out where it might rain, sleet, snow or hail. And I have to use some inferencing, and I have to use some of the other data in the chart to figure this out. Now, when you're looking at temperature, I can tell you right now, 83, 74, 67, 52, there will be no sleet. There will be no snow. So most likely they're talking about rain. Where is it going to rain? So we've used the temperature column to figure out this. That doesn't allow us to take away any of the cities or mark anything off, but it does allow us to understand that there's not going to be any snow if we think logically through that. Let's look at the second column, clouds. Now, what do clouds have to do with precipitation? These cities either have clouds or they do not have clouds. And you have to say to yourself, is it possible to have precipitation with no clouds and a clear sky? And the answer to that is a very obvious, no, that's not possible. So when we look at this one, city X has no clouds. It will not precipitate there because there's nothing for the rain to come out of. And I noticed that city Z is the same thing. And again, we're using our test-taking strategies and getting rid of things that we can tell whether or not they're the right or the wrong answer. And we've been able to eliminate 2 answers already. So we've used the clouds column. That takes us to air pressure. Now we know that the air pressure is measured with a barometer. And we have 2 little symbols that we kind of need to remember. We had that big blue H, and we have the big red L. And we've drawn this in our notebooks, in the grimoires, in papers. We've drawn pictures. We've drawn labels. We've gone over this a lot. And most of you have put this in your book, which is fantastic. The H is for happy weather. The L is for lousy weather, meaning it's going to rain. So I look at this and I say to myself, okay, city X already know is gone. City Z already know is gone. Now, city W has high pressure and it has clouds. But with high pressure, that means happy weather. So the clouds are probably cumulus clouds because that means fair weather. So it's not city W. City Y, however, has low pressure, which is lousy weather. It has clouds. Is that the most likely spot to have rain? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. So again, taking our time, even though, quote unquote, we haven't learned how to do charts yet, you can look at this chart and use what you know because these are 4 vocabulary words, and you should know enough about those now to help you answer that correctly. Question 5. Sandy wanted to take pictures of cirrus clouds. Now, we know that cirrus clouds are those thin, wispy clouds made of ice crystals. You see them during fair weather, although it does mean that the weather is going to change in a little while. However, the morning weather report indicated a low pressure system. Now remember, we literally just talked about that, and we just wrote that on our paper or in our memory dump. We know that low pressure system means lousy weather. There's a low pressure system over her area, meaning it's probably going to rain. Why will Sandy have to wait to see cirrus clouds? Because low pressure systems bring cool, dry air. That is not. That is a high pressure. So that's the exact opposite of what we would want to write. Is it because low pressure systems bring fair weather? Aren't these two pretty much the same thing? Yes. So that is not the answer. Again, using those test-taking strategies to get rid of questions and answers that we know are incorrect. Because low pressure systems generally do not bring clouds. Well, low pressure means lousy, rainy weather, so they have to have clouds. And here's another example of when we've already eliminated the first three. Let's look at D to make sure it is the correct answer. Low pressure systems generally bring rainy weather, and now we know that D is the best answer for number 5. Moving on. Chris noticed a high pressure system. Again, notice how we've already talked about this. Here's our happy weather. Chris notices happy weather is in the weather forecast for Monday and Tuesday. What type of weather conditions are most likely? Clear and sunny certainly sounds like the best answer. It's not stormy. That's low pressure. Sorry. It's not rainy because that's low pressure. And it's not stormy because there's low pressure again. So again, here we are using our test-taking strategies, finding easily the best answers. I would have to say question 4 is the toughest question we've had so far, but as you can see, it's one that we should know. All right, that's questions 4 through 6, and I'm sure I will see you later on.